will start information session from World Education Services presentation. And the presenter's name is Carolyn Givergis. She is Senior Coordinator Client Relations. She will explain the importance of credential evaluation and walk you through the process of credential evaluation. Okay, Carolyn.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Ukrainian-Canadian Congress of Saskatchewan for the invite. Thanks, Olena. I will do my presentation off camera. And then I'll be back on camera during the Q&A. Please submit your questions through the chat box, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions at the end of my presentation. So welcome, everyone. In today's agenda, I will cover about WES and credential recognition, WES evaluation services, WES application process, the resources and tools that we offer, and the WES Gateway. I will introduce the WES Gateway program. Whether you want to continue your education in Canada, it's always good to evaluate your education. And our mission at WES is that we help people learn, work, and thrive in new places. We help society recognize the value of people's education and experience. The success of international students, immigrants, and refugees is the main drive of WES's mission-driven initiatives and work. WES was founded in 1974 and in Canada since 2000. In the Canada office, we have diverse staff of over 150. In 2020, we served approximately 340,000 applicants. And our reports are used by universities, colleges, professional licensing bodies, employers, apprenticeship training programs, and Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, or IRCC for short. So let's talk about credential evaluation and who might benefit from a credential evaluation. So whether you want to continue your education or seek professional licensing or employment in Canada, and your education is from outside of Canada, it is highly recommended that you get an evaluation report once in your lifetime, and not necessarily from WES, and ensure that your education is going to be recognized in Canada. To work in a regulated profession, you must get a license from an appropriate regulatory body or a professional licensing body. So each regulatory body has their own procedures and requirements, and we highly recommend that you check with your respective regulatory body to learn in your province, to learn about their requirements. When it comes to education, and if you plan to do higher education in Canada, you need to meet the admission requirement for each school. For instance, when you apply for a graduate school, one of the common requirements is having a bachelor's degree. Schools would want to determine if your bachelor is comparable to a Canadian one. And some schools might handle this internally, and some might refer you to services like WES. And I highly recommend you contact the school which you are applying and learn about their admission requirement before applying to any evaluation services. When it comes to employment, the credential evaluation helps employers understand the equivalency level of your education in Canada. And for a lot of jobs in Canada, there is an educational requirement when you look at the job ads. When you have an evaluation report, we highly recommend that you mention that in your resume, similar to the language that I have prepared for you on this slide, that says evaluated by World Education Services, as equivalent to bachelor's degree specializing in computer engineering. This is just a sample, of course. You can always tweak that to reflect what your evaluation report says. When it comes to immigration, WES is one of the designated agencies by IRCC to provide educational credential assessment, or ECA for short, for immigration purposes. If you have any immigration related questions, please refer to IRCC's website. And just one note for IRCC, your WES ECA or report is valid for 5 years from the date of issue. In this section, I will explain the different types of evaluation reports we offer and how to apply to WES. So one of the evaluation reports WES offers is called document by document evaluation, which includes a Canadian equivalency summary. We also capture your name as written on your credential, on your educational documents, and how we authenticated your documents. And we also capture the major or your specialization. So let me make this bigger for you so you can see exactly the components that I mentioned. So Canadian equivalency is captured at the beginning of the report. And then in the next portion, we capture the remaining of the like how we authenticated your documents, the country of education, what your credential is, the year that you graduated. So when you get this is basically used for general admission purposes or employment purposes. So this is the report that will help you. The fee for a document by document evaluation is $115 for WES basic service and $150 for WES ICAP report. Later on, I will explain the difference between the WES basic service and the WES ICAP service. This is a course, the other report we offer. It's called course by course. The course by course is an evaluation report that contains all the information on a document by document evaluation and some additional details about your education. So the significance of the WES course by course evaluation is the converted credit, hours, and grades. So we convert your credits and your grades from system that you have studied to Canadian credit system and grades. So this is the course by course. And also important about this report, we provide GPA. GPA stands for grade point average. And it's important information for schools as for admission purposes. They are very interested to see your GPA level. The fee for course by course evaluation is $210 for your basic report and $245 for course by course WES ICAP report. One thing I want to mention here that WES fees are per application or per person, which means we will evaluate all your degrees for one fee. The degree equivalency tool, this is a free tool that we have on our website where you can find out your WES equivalency before you pay any fee to WES. You can use this free tool to learn about your Canadian equivalency before applying to us. Just one note here that this degree free equivalency tool is only available for degree level credentials that you have. Let me make this bigger for you so you can see. So this is just a sample of a person using this free tool. So they have plugged in 2 of their degrees, a bachelor and a master's, and they received the equivalency using this online tool. This want to also stress here that this tool does not replace our formal evaluation, and it's only a preview tool. So as you can see, this person used it for 2 of his or her degree, a bachelor and a master's. So they now know that their bachelor is equal to a bachelor here, and their master's is equal to a master's here. And then they can decide to formally apply to the WES evaluation. International Credential Advantage Package, or ICAP, or WES ICAP for short, is a service provided by WES where your verified transcripts and evaluation report are stored in WES's database. So with that, WES can send your completed evaluation report and verified transcripts to the institutions and licensing bodies. This service will save you time and money by avoiding to arrange multiple transcripts to go to different institutions or organizations in Canada. Also, when you have the WES ICAP service, you will also receive a digital badge which you can use, and I will explain the digital badge later on. So basically, in a short, the difference between the WES basic service and the WES ICAP service is that if you have the WES basic service, if you add a recipient like a school or a licensing body, they will only receive your WES report. But if you have a WES ICAP service, we will send them both your WES report and your transcripts that we have received from back home to the recipients here. So if you're applying to 5 different universities in Canada, you don't have to arrange to 5 different sealed transcripts to go to these 5 universities. You will send it once to WES, and then WES will send it later on to all these 5 universities that you're applying to. Now, WES application process, I will go through how you can apply to us. Before you actually go ahead and start the process of the application, I highly recommend that you visit our required documents page. It is an important page that you need to read very carefully, the instructions about which documents to submit to WES and how to submit them. The document requirements will actually vary depending on the country you have studied in. So it is important to carefully follow the provided instructions to make sure your evaluation report will be completed on time. So as you see on the screen, by selecting your country of education and then entering the info on your credential and school, you can view the requirements for your country of education. WES's reputation among schools and licensing bodies is based on our very strict document requirements. So generally, we require the academic transcripts to be sent to WES by the issuing institution in a sealed envelope, or to be authenticated by proper authorities in your country. And given the COVID and that everybody is working remotely, now WES also accepts your educational documents sent digitally with secure electronic file transfer by your school. Up to now, we have partnered with thousands of institutions to receive documents electronically. By visiting the required document page on WES's website, you can learn whether your school is already capable of sending your documents to us digitally. So we offer a simple 3-step process for individuals with international degrees to get their credentials evaluated. So in step number 1, you apply to WES online. You will receive a WES reference number. In step number 2, you will submit the documents that we require according to our requirements. And in step number 3, once we receive the documents we require, our evaluators will ensure that we have received all the documents in a manner specified for your country and your credential. And then when everything is 100% okay, then we will start working on your file. If you have a standard West application, we will need 7 business days to do your evaluation. But if you have an immigration application with West or an ECA, then for immigration files, we will need 35 business days from the time we receive your documents. If you are applying to schools or licensing bodies or employers, I highly recommend that you add them as a direct recipient of your West report, because most of them prefer that West sends the report directly to them. So on this page, this is just a sample. I chose CPA Ontario. This is Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. This is for accountants who want to get licensed. So that's why this individual added them as a recipient. So when we complete the application or the report, we will send a copy also to them directly. So I'm happy to inform you that you no longer need to fax or mail the documents we require from you. So by logging in my account, you can now upload the documents that we require, like a copy of your degree certificate, copy of your translation. Now you can upload it yourself directly into your account, and you don't need to fax it or mail it anymore. WES also is committed to the success of its internationally educated applicants. So we offer free tools and other resources to engage and inform our applicants as they work to achieve their goals in Canada. So I already explained or went through the degree equivalency tool, other tools that we have on the website for you, and you don't have to be necessarily our applicant in order to have access to these tools. Anybody can have access to these tools. So the West Advisor blog is a portal that offers advice on education, employment, and licensing, with resources to help you advance in your career goals. With West Advisor newsletter, you can subscribe to this newsletter and you will receive bi-weekly newsletter with helpful articles and webinar invitations. So if you are interested, just go to wes.org/ca/subscribe and subscribe to our newsletter. In our West webinars, we offer information to assist you in your quest to pursue higher education, licensing, or employment in Canada. My account, by logging into your West account, you can always track your package. You can update your information. You can edit your profile. Another easy way to contact West is while you are in your account. If you have specific questions regarding your application, you can scroll to the bottom of the page by clicking Contact Us, and you can send your questions to, and our customer service representatives will reply to your questions. So that's the good thing about always trying to monitor your file by logging into your West account. Yes, we have an app. So by downloading the West app to your mobile, you can monitor the progress of your file. So also what you can do is you can check the status of your application. You can receive reminders from West to what steps are still remaining to be completed. You get notifications about the status of your application, and you can access your credential evaluation report. So I already talked about just a couple of minutes about the West Digital Badge. So basically what a West Digital Badge is, you can now securely display and share your verified credentials with anyone in the world instantly. So the West Digital Badge can be displayed online for maximum visibility and recognition. You can share your badge in your email signature, on your digital resume, and also on your social media profiles like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So when Wes completes your evaluation, you will receive a report, an email, an automatic email. In that email, it asks you whether you want to claim your digital badge. It's basically how it looks, this green part of this page. So when you claim that badge, it also will give you step by step to how to showcase this into your social media. So recently I've seen a couple of these badges on individuals' LinkedIn. So if you have your resume, and then the employer can click on this digital badge and they can see a summary format of your credential evaluation report. So this is how people use their West digital badge. And last but not least, the West Gateway program. So the West Gateway program assesses the educational credentials of individuals who, as a result of adverse circumstances in their country of education, have limited proof or documentation of their academic achievements. So the evaluation report issued through this program are designed to help displaced individuals continue their education, become licensed in their field, or to take their next step in their career in Canada. So basically, to be eligible to the West Gateway program is that you have to be living currently in Canada, referred to us by one of our West partner organizations, educated in at least one of the 7 eligible countries, which in that case is as you see it on the map, it's Afghanistan, Eritrea, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Ukraine, or Venezuela. So, and the individuals are, in this case, are unable to have their documents sent directly from their school because either the school is within the war-torn area of the country, or they are political refugees and they can't have their school send us their documents directly. So, and also another thing I want to mention is West works with network of partner organizations across Canada to refer individuals to the West Gateway program. So only these referral organizations can screen you and confirm. When they confirm that you're eligible to apply to the West Gateway program, they will do the application for you. And then when you give West copies of your documents, then we can prepare a West Gateway report for you. So this is basically it for my part of presentation. And I guess now we can open the lines for your questions. So do we have questions, Olena?
Yes, I'm looking into the chat. There is none, but when people were registered, we have like 2 questions, so I will read it. My husband has a bachelor degree and master's degree in civil engineering in Vietnam. His master's degree was recognized by WES for immigration purpose. He would like to know what license he needs to have to apply for jobs in Saskatchewan in the field of construction. Does he need to get WES evaluation again?
Well, since he already has done the evaluation through West, if you have an immigration report, one thing I want to mention here, you need to upgrade. That immigration report is good for immigration purposes, but the minute you come and you settle in Canada, you need to upgrade your immigration report to a regular West report. And then you can start using it to send to employers. If you are interested in continuing your education, send it to the school. Or in this case, if you are interested in getting licensed, you can share it with the licensing body. Now for construction, I'm not 100% sure in Saskatchewan whether that is a regulated profession. If it's not, I think the only thing you can do is you can order a copy of that report to go to the employer, and then get that job based on whatever that employer sees from your resume and from your education. But when it comes to licensing, I know for a fact, whether it's in Ontario or in any province in Canada, if it's a regulated profession, you need to go through their process of getting licensed. And with that license, you can practice that profession. But when it comes to construction, again, I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure whether construction needs any kind of license. And it again depends what jobs he will end up doing in construction. So I think it's a good idea to maybe reach out to the licensing body and see if this person is an engineer professionally, but now he's interested to do construction. What are the processes? What does he need? Okay. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. And the other question, my question is, now the degree document is sent directly from the University of home country, not a partner of WES. So I don't really get the question.
It's okay. If the person is online, maybe you can, I guess, type your question or maybe rephrase. We basically evaluate all the countries, all the universities, if they are recognized universities. So basically all you have to do is you have to arrange for your documents to come from your university to WES to do the evaluation. Okay. If there are other questions, maybe we can do the other questions, and maybe this person can rephrase their question, and hopefully I can answer.
Yeah, if you can't type.
Yeah, ask you one question. Okay. Yeah, because you mentioned the first question is actually my question. I'm asking for my husband. When you say upgrade the report, you mean so like by upgrading, does he need to do everything from the beginning? Like, does he need to order the?
Yeah. What year did we do the evaluation? Was it pretty recent?
I mean, like before he came to Canada, like
when was that?
Last last year.
Last year. Yeah. No, one thing is, if we've done the evaluation recently and the document requirement for your country hasn't changed, all he has to do is, for the upgrade, they pay a minimal fee to upgrade it from an immigration report to a regular WES standard report. And now, if he wants to upgrade it to like a general document by document evaluation, it's $50 upgrade. If now he wants to do a course by course evaluation, let's say he wants to go back to school, the upgrade is $100. But the good thing is that we can use the same documents that we received already for him to do the immigration file. He doesn't have to arrange it again if the required documents has not changed since last year, which I highly doubt. But sometimes it happens that for some countries, something drastic happened, and then we had to change our policy. So now whoever is coming back, we say, no, you have to follow the new policy. But if it hasn't changed, we can use the same documents. He doesn't have to do it from scratch.
Oh, I see. So we just upgrade, you pay the fee then?
Yeah. Yes.
And then you receive another document from you, or?
Yes. Yes. He will get a brand new report. He will get a brand new reference number. He will get a new report sent to him to his home, because this report will look different than the immigration report.
I see. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I just want
to. I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt. Just a quick follow-up to the sending of documents between countries. So, say the educational certificates that I have, the originals, are not good enough, essentially, to make a submission, right? So it has to be sent from the country of origin. How long, on average, does it take? Say, I'm from Ukraine. I sent a request to my institution after graduating 10 years ago. Is that a lengthy process from your experience, or is it pretty quick? I'm sure it varies greatly.
I know it can be lengthy. It depends to how long it will take for your university in Ukraine to send us the documents. I know I can, like, as I mentioned, we take 7 days for our regular files and 35 business days for our immigration files. But honestly, to be honest, I can't really predict how long for any country or any school, international school, will take to send us the documents. But the good thing now is that we have the digital documentation. So if you reach out to your school in Ukraine, first find out for Ukraine what is the requirements. Is it from the school or is it apostille? I'm not 100% sure now. If it's apostille, usually there is that ministry in the country that does the apostille for West. But again, double check the requirement for Ukraine. If it's from the school, then you can maybe have your school reach out to West and say, I'm the president or the registrar of this school or university in Ukraine, and I'm interested in knowing how I can do or send documents digitally to West. So we have a group at West who only caters to do these relationships with schools internationally. So if it's digital, it will make it much, much faster than the mail and everything. But yeah, just find out from whether it's school or anything else, and then just take it from there.
Got you. Yeah, thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Another question, how my degree documents can be certified by WES as it is not written in English? I thought there is a partnership of WES to do the translation.
No, we don't have staff, unfortunately, in-house to do translations for us. So that's why we ask the applicant to supply us the translation. Either if you have a translation from back home, you can just upload the copies of those if they're in English or French. But if you don't have a translation, in Ontario, we have a community agency called COSTI. COSTI has translation services that they do translations for us. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to find a certified translator anywhere and have them translate your documents. And then you just give us copies or upload copies of those to you. But no, we don't have translators in-house. We just do the evaluation of it.
Hi, sorry to excuse me. Actually, I'm the person asked this question. So thank you for your answer, but I still a little bit confused. So that's why I think that's better to ask you.
Sure.
Because you also mentioned that the document, for example, the degree, my degree document is sent from the university. So should I upload the translation by myself, or should the school send it to you and send it to WES?
No, the translation can come from you. Don't worry, because I know a lot of people panic. They say my university will not give translation. They only send documents. That's fine. No, we need the translation to be uploaded by yourself. So if you have the English translation, you can just upload it into your West file. And then, pending of what your country of education is, just read the document requirement on our website carefully and just arrange for those documents to come to us.
Okay, so which means different country has a different requirement.
Yes.
So I have to look. Look the website. Okay.
Yes, please. Yes, because like, I don't know if for example, if your education is from China, the documents does not come from the school. There is an organization called CHESIC there is another organization in China who sends us the documents, not the university. So that's why some country requirements are a little bit different. So that's why it is best for you to, as I mentioned in my presentation, to visit our required document page on our website to find out exactly. When you choose the country, it will tell you exactly what we need.
Okay, thank you for your clarification. Thank you.
My pleasure, anytime. Anyone else?
Yeah, we don't have anything in the chat box, so maybe somebody wants to unmute and speak.
May I ask you again, like one more thing?
Sure.
Because the West report that my husband received last year, it is for immigration purpose. So even if he upgrade, can he use it for employment purpose?
If he upgrades, yes. Not the immigration file. The immigration report cannot be like, you cannot add like if the employer says, I need the West report to be sent directly to me, then you can add the employer as a recipient. But if the employer is okay for your husband to give a photocopy of his immigration report and just take it with him, I guess that is fine. He doesn't have to upgrade it. But if the employer says, no, I need West to send your report directly to me, then yes, he needs to do the upgrade. Because the immigration reports, the only recipient you can add to that report is only IRCC. That's it. Nobody else can be added as a recipient. But if the employer says, yes, just bring your West report when you come to interview with me, then in that case, no, he doesn't need to upgrade it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure, pleasure. Anyone else online?
I think that's it, Elena.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think we can move on. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for this informative presentation and also for answering all the questions. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invite. Thanks, everyone, and good luck to all of you. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the next presentation will present Candice Fox. She's the Outreach Consultant for Career Loans Canada in Saskatchewan. It is a virtual program that supports internationally trained newcomers return to their original careers in Saskatchewan. She also works closely with Cheryl Murray, the Information and Financial Counselor for Career Loans in Saskatchewan, to help spread the word about the program across the province. Candice?
Thank you so much for having me. And that was such a great presentation by Carolyn. I don't know if she left or if she's just off screen, but I think probably Cheryl and I would love to pick her brain a little bit more about the work that West does. So thank you so much, Elena, for inviting me. I'm going to share my screen and I have Cheryl online. She will help me answer questions, but it will be mostly me just presenting. Okay. Can everyone see that? We're good? Okay. My presentation is called Career Counseling and Microloans to Jumpstart Your Career. And as Elena said, my name is Candice Fox, and I'm the outreach consultant for career loans. And we are funded by the government or coordinated by Achieve, formerly the Center for Education and Training. And our financial institution partner is HSBC Bank. Team Saskatchewan. So just a little bit about myself. My job really is just to spread the word about career loans across the province. Previously, I was doing that through some travel to settlement employment organizations across Saskatchewan. Obviously, given COVID-19, I'm doing most of my stuff virtual now. Cheryl Murray, she's our information and financial counselor. She works mostly one-on-one with our clients. She supports them in getting back into their original profession or finding an alternative career. She brings her many talents and enthusiasm and years of experience in counseling, and yeah, our clients love her. If you do have questions or want to interact, just throw them in the chat and we will get to those at the very end. Okay, so I have a short video about career loans, but I just want to preface this by saying that even though I've upgraded my SaskTel internet, it doesn't seem to be the greatest. So I'm going to share my sound. I'm going to take my video off, and maybe that will help as well. Just give me a second here.
I'm Rianne Mendoza, and I came to Canada from the Philippines last year in November.
Hello, my name is Ifoma. I came to Canada June 2019.
My desired occupation in Canada is a privacy lawyer.
And my desire is to work as a medical doctor in Canada. The major challenge that I was facing was financial.
I don't have the sufficient resources in order for me to enroll.
I used part of the money that I got from career loans to register for the first part of the exam.
I was able to enroll in the training programs to becoming a privacy professional,
To buy a mini laptop that I would use to prepare for the exams.
to purchase all the required texts.
Ever since I applied to career loans, I can say that my career outlook is definitely brighter.
I will also be getting my certification for Asia.
Because I've gotten the assistance that I needed. I've been able to register for the exams.
I am now more prepared to become a privacy professional in Canada.
Things are looking brighter. Yeah, I just feel like, I'm getting closer to my goal.
And thanks to career loans, I am now more confident and in my way towards my journey of becoming a privacy professional here in Canada.
Okay. Oh, let's get through that again. There we go. Okay, so just some numbers here. The average person spends 1/3 of their lives at work. That equates to about 90,000 hours of our lifetime. And those hours increase if you travel or commute for work. If you have 2 part-time jobs or a full-time and a part-time job, you know that that equates to more than 40 or 45 hours a week. So it is important to give great consideration in how we spend that time. The idea that our work life and home life don't impact each other is a fantasy. And I think we've seen that more so during COVID, when many of us are working from homes and they seem to mesh together. Another stat here, this is from the US, but I still think it applies here in Canada. So 80% of people hate their jobs. That's very daunting. And I think we can assume that for that number to be pretty much the same or higher maybe for newcomers who are in survivor jobs and feeling like their talent, skills are not being utilized as they had hoped or dreamed of. I love this quote by writer Annie Dillard, and she says, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." And so, my question to you would be, how are you spending your days right now? Just some questions to consider. Are you happy in the job that you have? Are you doing what you love? Are you on your preferred career path? Are you feeling stuck in a survivor job? Do you want to make a change but don't know how? Do you want to make a change but don't know where to start? If you do want to make a change and you don't know where to start, I would invite you to consider today as your starting point. This is a quote that I took from a Canadian immigrant website, and it says, "Moving to a new country gives you the opportunity to think about your life, evaluate your interests, put yourself together, and find out who you actually are as a human being. There are no old routines or set rules." I want to talk really quickly about leveraging your education and training here in Canada. As many of you know or have realized, you have lots of opportunities to utilize your past education and training here in Canada and here in Saskatchewan. It doesn't matter if you want to continue down the same career path or if you're thinking about switching careers. More often than not, you don't have to start from square one or start from scratch. I have just a list of things to consider. And I do just want to note that most of these things you don't have to do on your own. And as Cheryl can sort of answer your questions and attest to, this is the sort of stuff that she helps our clients figure out. So the first is, of course, do your own market and industry research. If you were in a industry or a job that was prevalent back home, a booming industry, and maybe it looks different here or is not the same, then of course you want to do some research and just try to figure out, where your skills can be transferred to. Explore all your options. So what are the pros and cons of, switching careers or staying in your preferred career path? Educational records, as we just saw at the presentation from Wes. What makes you happy? What would make you happiest? What makes sense for your family? If you, back home, maybe you started a career and you didn't have kids, now you're here in Canada and you started a family or have a family. What is the best thing for you long term? I would probably put this one at the top, but consult with a career counselor. That's why Career Loans is so adamant about providing this service for free. We really want to support you in making the biggest, one of the biggest decisions of your life now that you're here in Canada. 4, get your feet wet in a short course, seminar, or conference in the industry. If you're not completely sold on, what direction to go, I would recommend just sort of testing the waters. There's lots of opportunities to take some free classes on Coursera or EDX. Maybe you want to look for a conference or, some information online to learn a little bit more. Talk to people in that job role or career. Cheryl and I do a presentation called Career Mapping, and she talks a lot about being vulnerable and just putting yourself out there and connecting with people who have, that dream job that you want. And yes, it seems scary, but that information really can be valuable to you in the end. So I would really encourage you and recommend you to, try that. Reach out to an organization or a business owner and just ask them some questions. 6, consider if there is room to grow and evolve in this career path. So thinking about 5 years, 10 years or more down the road. A job as a chef in a restaurant, your 5 or 10 year path might look different from someone who, is in the banking industry. So just sort of considering, what brings you happy, what you're looking for long term. And number 7, does this job fit who you are today? Does it satisfy you as a human being and bring you joy? Okay, so how can Career Loans help you? We are a completely virtual program. We're fairly new, up and running, April 2019. So we recently celebrated our 2-year business birthday or nonprofit birthday. But we're a completely virtual program for internationally trained individuals in Alberta and Saskatchewan. And we provide free career and financial counseling, as well as access to a microloan application. We also help guide ITIs to get back into their original career path or support them in pivoting and finding something new. Okay, so who is eligible? ITIs in regulated and or non-regulated occupations and trades, and that really runs the gamut. You could be in trades, engineering, healthcare sector, IT, accounting, business. Like I said, lots of jobs, lots of industries. You have to be a resident of Alberta or Saskatchewan, a permanent resident, Canadian citizen, or a convention refugee. And we ask that you have a minimum Canadian language benchmark of a level 5, because we know for a lot of educational institutions, they look for either 6, 7, or 8, depending on what the course might be. Okay, so our goal, we know that one size does not fit all when it comes to supporting our clients. That is why the individualized counseling is so important to us. We want to see you succeed here in Canada and in Saskatchewan. And we know that our economy and our communities and our cities and our province and our country are stronger when everyone is happy and thriving. Okay, I won't stay long on this slide, but I just wanted to show you guys some numbers here. So the minimum wage in Saskatchewan, and this might have changed. This, I think I made this slide last year, so if there is some changes, but you kind of get the point. So full-time job at minimum wage, you're looking at a yearly salary at $21,984. The livable wage in Saskatchewan is $16.95. I'm not sure what family can actually survive off of that, but I don't make the rules here. So the yearly salary there is $32,544. When you're looking at the average hourly rate in Saskatchewan, we're looking at $20.93. The yearly salary is $40,185. So you would have to essentially, if you are a one-person household, you would have to essentially work 2 full-time jobs just to make, what the average hourly rate is. If you are a 2-person household, then likely there's someone working, a full-time, a part-time job, or a full-time and a part-time job. So when you're thinking about, opportunity cost, and we go back to that first slide where I was talking about spending 90,000 hours at work, we have to look at what the emotional, mental, physical, and impact is on our families, right? When we're spending so much time at work. I would just really encourage you to think about that. If you're sort of teetering on the edge of, do I want to move away from my survivor job and take that leap and, maybe go get some education or reach out to Cheryl, I would just highly recommend you do it, take that risk in having that conversation with her and just see where this may lead you. Okay, so our application process is absolutely the simplest. You visit our website, www.careerloans.ca. We have an intake form that you'll fill out. That will get sent directly to Cheryl, and then she will communicate with you as to what she might need in terms of educational training records, proof of residence, immigration status, all that fun stuff. Okay. Just some program features. So of course, the free career and financial counseling. And I really just want to stipulate and make it known that this is completely separate from the microloan. If you don't access the microloan, that's completely okay. This is a separate service. You can access that and not need the loan. So please take advantage of this. We're funded by the government. It's a free service. Please take advantage of that. Also, the low interest rate microloan up to $15,000. The minimum is $1,500. Referrals to employment services or settlement services or language services, we don't do that. We strictly support you in the career aspect, but we've got lots of connections across Saskatoon, Regina, and the province, so we will be happy to refer you. A guide to the accreditation process, because that can be daunting and overwhelming. So Cheryl will be happy to help guide you through that. And of course, advice for alternative careers. So if you are wanting to make a change, not sure what that change may look like, again, that's something that Cheryl will help you with. Okay, so if you were to jump off this call after it's done, what would you have access to if you register with Career Loans? We have tons of content, past webinars, information on the website for the past 2 years. So you can dive deep into that. Of course, access to our expert counselors, all the latest industry trends in Saskatchewan and Alberta. And of course, that should probably say virtual live guest speakers, but every month we have 1 or 2 live webinars where we talk about maybe industry or other information pertinent to internationally trained individuals. So I would highly recommend you register just so that you can get those emails and those reminders about all that great content. And again, completely free. Okay, so how can we help you? So of course, one-on-one, the virtual counseling session with Cheryl to determine your career path and next steps. The referrals, so if you do need some support in the settlement, language or employment services, we can certainly refer you. And of course, we'll keep tabs on you and making sure that you're being serviced properly. And the microloan. So if you are interested, the microloan is available and Cheryl will work with you to fill out that application and get you rolling with that. Just a little bit more information about the microloan. So Again, this is completely virtual. I know we only have 2 HSBC branches in Saskatoon and Regina. So if you are, even in Warman or someplace out of Regina or anywhere else across the province, there is no requirement for you to travel. If you are in the city and you just, given the global pandemic, don't want to go to the branch, that's completely okay. Our partner is HSBC Bank, but this is not a bank loan. I just also want to make sure that's very clear. Again, this is government funded, so HSBC is going to work and deal with you a little bit differently than, if I walk into the bank and I've got, a credit score. I've lived in Saskatchewan all my life, so they're going to look at clients a little bit differently. Our microloan is up to $15,000. The interest rate is prime plus 2%, so we're looking at a 4.45% interest rate, fixed and locked in. So once you get the loan, you know what your monthly loan payments will be each month. The loan repayment period is up to 4 years. And so if you were to get the loan repayment period starts pretty quickly afterwards. But again, the benefit is it's a fixed interest rate. So you know over that span of 4 years what your monthly payment is going to be. Okay, so what are some things that we will expense in terms of the microloan? As you saw in that video, one of the ladies expensed a mini laptop so she could write her exam. So any sort of credential assessment, accreditation, your exam fees, any sort of bridge training at a college or university, any sort of material fees that you might need, books, equipment, whatnot. Licensure fees, membership and association fees, union fees, if you have to travel for an exam, if you need childcare while you're going to school. There are lots of things that are probably not on here. If you do have questions, specific questions, please reach out to myself or Cheryl and we can check into that for you. Okay, so I will leave you with this quote. In the end, we only regret the chances we did not take. So I highly encourage you to view this as an opportunity and to take advantage of it. Just some testimonials, feel free to go online and check us out. Google us, go on Facebook, please visit all of our social media channels. We've got lots of content, lots of great content and free content as well. And then our contact information there. But I will make sure to put our contact information in the chat as well if anyone wants to reach out to Cheryl directly. Okay, so that is it for me. I'm just going to stop share here. All right. And Cheryl is there. Thanks for joining today, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so any questions anyone might have for us?
Yeah, so there is no questions. Yeah, so
Ask many questions from the floor.
Do we have any questions from the floor? No.
The video was well informed. A lot of information was there that you can take away, and Candice did a great job. But if any more information that may be needed, it's all on our website. The emphasis is just guiding those individuals in their career path. It's, you come, you're confused a little bit, you don't know which direction to go. We're just here to help you have another option, how to map out that long-term, apart from the survival job, and getting you on the path and keeping you there too. It's to how to build that momentum to keep going forward.
I always say you're going to leave your time with Cheryl with more clarity and more understanding of yourself. She will ask you the tough questions that maybe you won't ask yourself. So I highly recommend everyone really take advantage of this opportunity and to connect with Cheryl, and to also, visit us online and to check out our social media. We've got lots of fun content and information on there. So please check us out.
I don't have a question, but I really wanted to comment, I guess, on the service, and the availability of such counseling is is huge. Just remembering myself, 10 years ago, immigrating to Saskatchewan with a certain background and credentials, I gave up on my career as an interpreter and translator, thinking, hey, this is just a language they speak here, so I'm not going to pursue that path. But perhaps I could have been, advised differently at the time, and life would have been different. But it's a great opportunity for those who perhaps are still in that transitional stage.
Absolutely. And the thing about ITIs is that there is so much unknown out there coming into a new country, and you are afraid to ask, or should I ask, or should I be doing this? And the idea to have someone to encourage you to, it's okay, just be vulnerable. It's all right. It's not going to kill you. And it certainly opens a lot more doors for you when you just be curious and show that vulnerability.
Excuse me, I actually have a question. I just wondering the interest rate will be different every year, or it will be a fixed rate?
It is fixed, which means even if the economy changes, it will be that interest rate for the next 4 years for you. The great thing about the loan is that we are the in-between guy with the client and the bank. So we provide a letter of recommendation for our clients just to introduce them. We put all that package together so the clients are not working on that information. So once they approach, we get the financial advisor assigned to them. So they're not walking in blind. They're walking in with the paper already there. The financial officers has already reviewed all their information, and they just need to sit down and have a chat, have a conversation. At that point, once we've introduced the client to the financial advisor, we step out because there's a lot of more sensitive information that will be exchanged between the two parties. But we are never away because we are constantly facilitating the communication, because in real life, things can break down. And so one person's not getting back to the other person. So we're constantly in the background facilitating. Is everything going well? You're not getting the connections you need. We're there full force to get everything back on track. So and each individual situations are unique to themselves. As Candice was mentioning, some families do have not just their education, books or laptops or licensures or the fees and membership, but families come into play. So there's house expenses that they may have added to that loan, or, transportation or daycare. We will play with that in an individual situation.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Candice and Cheryl, for this information. I think it's a great opportunity for newcomers in Saskatchewan to have that opportunity to have free consultation and support, not only the loan, but support. It's very, very, very important step for newcomer to go back to their career path.
Yeah, I think that support is really key, right? Just knowing that you have someone who's got your back and to ask questions and sort of guide you along the way. I joke, I wish everyone in the province, I could use some free career and financial counseling once in a while. But, yeah, like I said, hearing stories like Olga's it hurts our heart a little bit. We wish this program would have been available sooner, but I'm glad everyone who has access to it has access to it now. So thank you so much, Alina.
And the good thing about the program, the counseling session, is that it's not just a one-time thing. I've had clients come back a year later after they've had a counseling, and it's like they've had other thoughts, other directions, and they just want some feedback on that. How do I navigate from here now? How do I go about this? So it's a constant. We're here with you for the next 2 years.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so if there is no question, I think we can end the meeting. And I want to thank you again, Caroline, Candice, and Cheryl, for your time and for the information you provided. It's very important to know all the steps and all the possibilities and opportunities that newcomers have here in Saskatchewan. So thank you so much, and I wish you a great weekend.
Thank you so much.